Game number 1, Sky Temple as the starting map. Don't see that all that often. So we are starting things off with Sky Temple. We are in the Captain's Clash, everybody. And it is the final day, essentially, from the round robin phase. 6 teams in total here on the North American server in the NA tournament have signed up for this. And we're playing a full round robin with best of 3 matches to determine the seeding for the playoffs. And this is going to be a fairly interesting one, because Nintorii is currently tied with 2 other teams for first place. It's a little bit of a difference in map scores, so they're not technically tied, but tied in match wins. And Team Liam is 4th place. And for Liam's team, it's actually quite important that they're performing well here, or they still could drop down into the 5th place. It's kind of important because the last 2 places in that seeding, like place number 5 and number 6, will start in the lower bracket in the playoffs. It's a double elimination system bracket there. So yeah, we'll see. Let's find out if Liam's team can do okay here, if they are dropping into slot number 5, and if Nintorii and his boys can, with a victory here, more or less secure themselves the first spot in the tournament. A 2-0, for example, would go a long way right now. Sky Temple, as already mentioned, is our starting map. Quick side note, there's no extra rules for the draft here, so we have just a vanilla standard tournament. There's nothing happening around, I don't know, like special bans that you can't pick a hero more than once, or bounties. It's just a vanilla tournament hosted on the NA server, organized by the NA teams. So yeah, big shout out to all of them participating in this. Yeah, Vikings get banned out, which is honestly a little bit sad. Would have loved a bit of a Viking game for this one, but no. It's actually the second time now that Sky Temple gets played as the starting map. Coming from the European server, this is a bit of a surprise, because most of the games that we are seeing these days don't really feature Sky Temple all that much. Most of the time, if the tournament allows for Sky Temple in the first place, the map gets banned out fairly quickly, or just completely ignored. Sometimes you see it as one of the later maps within the series, but yeah, not too much. So we are starting things off with Maiev as a quick first pick. And yeah, I mean, Nintorii's team is pretty stuck there too. Porky has been playing a lot of Diablo. Johanna is banned, is another one of his picks. So we'll see what they can do with that. Personally, I'm rather curious what, for example, someone like Nano is going to play. And I've been highlighting Sven's picks a bit. Sven, the reason why the Vikings are banned out right now, he has, of course, played in a lot of the European tournaments, Vikings occasionally, specifically on bigger maps that allow for them. House of Doom comes to mind. This one might fit the bill as well. And then you have him with his Samuro play on the side lane occasionally. I think even in this tournament we've already seen it on Altered Pass, if I'm not mistaken. So now he's locking in Blaze for the team, and we get Tremor with Diablo and Brightwing. Yeah, so what is Pocky going to play for the blue team now? Definitely his 2 favorite tanks are now picked away from him. But as I said, as this is not restricted regarding the draft in the slightest, nobody's going to run out of heroes to play here. It's just not happening. Once that you put in draft restrictions, things are starting to get a little bit more wild, right? So you're starting to look at players that might really run out of preference picks. I mean, obviously on this level, they have a huge amount of heroes that they can play. It's always just a matter of like how well and how comfortable they feel in that environment with them. Anyways, with Hanzo now banned out, we still have globals available. Brightwing obviously already taken, but you have Dehaka and Falstad both up. Now, there is no side laner yet for Team Liam. They have Maiev, but I would still heavily assume that they're going to take another side laner. So Dehaka becomes an option for them. You know, they got Kane banned out now, but it would be interesting to see if Falstad, for example, gets played. I could totally see that also for the blue team. Just having some global presence on Sky Temple is most of the time really advantageous. You want to have some tools that you can use in a situation where your opponent is already running Brightwing, might actually commit to Dehaka for the side lane, so yeah. Also, yes or no, could leave him open as a potential last pick. We get Garrosh and we got Rhaegar. Sylvanas obviously starting us off, so the idea being do structural damage without having to use the objective. And yeah, Dehaka, oh not Dehaka, Chromie and Urel, Diablo Urel, okay. So no Dehaka, no globals, unless Nano locks in Falstad here. It means that we're going into Sky Temple with Brightwing being the only global hero, technically. So, yeah, kind of interesting. I expected that at least the Haka would be taken, but apparently that's not going to be the case here. So, our final weapon of choice, Nano's the one that has to decide what he wants to play here. Could also swap Sylvanas around, but as we're heading into Sky Temple, the blue team picks Falstad. We get a global after all. The birdie is in the house, and we're heading into our first game between Team Liam and Team Nintorii. First game between Nintorii and Liam. We're on Sky Temple on the left side. Iptings on Falstad for the blue team. We get Nano with Sylvanas. Sven is playing Blaze for this first game in the series. Nintorii himself on Rhaegar. And Porky at the front line is playing Garrosh. To the right side of the map, Vespertine with Urel. So Liam locking this in. We got Zimbo on Maiev. Tremor on Diablo. We got Kelsey on Chromie. And Heavy is playing Brightwing. So, let the games begin. Let's see. I like that we got at least one global. I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense of getting at least one global hero into this and see what they can do with that. Who's going to be able to dominate those lanes and a bit, you know, get that advantage. They already have a lot of push power. They can technically try to really rotate a bit out around the opponent too. Let Falstad push on one lane, leverage Sylvanas on another. Whole idea being, of course, do as much structural damage as you can do without the objective itself, and then end up in a situation where it's advantageous for you to trade temples against your opponent. Highly likely that we're going to see something along those lines. With that said, Zimbo already going on the attack here. Oh, nice little stun. Porky. Yeah, they're already trying to... Oh, there's a block! And there's the kill. Maiev goes down. First blood achieved. I talked about it earlier, but once again, there is actually quite a lot on the line here for, I want to say, both of them. Seeding matters a lot. The whole reason why we're playing out this round robin in that group stage phase is that it is very important which seed you get, because it will matter a lot towards your run through the playoff bracket. Now, if Nintorii and his team wins here, specifically if they win very clearly with a 2-0, they will have a fantastic spot and have a much easier route through that bracket. And for Liam, it's the exact opposite. They're currently in 4th place. They would love to get a little bit higher than that, but if they lose and they don't even take a single map, there's actually a chance that they end up becoming 5th place instead, and that would be quite the difference for them. It would mean that they don't start in the winner bracket for the playoffs, but they would actually start in the losers bracket. Definitely something that you're trying to avoid, so we'll see if they can pull that off. It's not going to be easy, honestly. I mean, given the results that we had so far in the tournament, they are clearly the underdogs here. But, yeah, time will tell. Yeah, Liam's team, honestly, like, it's going to be a little bit tough. If they lose without taking a map, it might come down to direct comparison. I gotta be completely honest with you, as Garrosh dies here. I'm not 100% certain how the Americans are actually judging this, because we had tournaments in the past that relied on map score when match score is even. We had some that went for direct comparison, which is quite popular in some of the American leagues. So it will depend a little bit on what exactly is the case here. Because even with a potentially tight score, maybe match score will make the difference. But as is, the statement of the game is, it is an important series for both of them. Every map counts for both of these teams. And specifically for Liam's team, a victory in this would go a very long way to improve their seeding position. So they're actually fighting back here. We have them with 2 kills to 1 now. Structurally, we have damage done to the walls pretty quickly, as you can tell, of course, too. So, yeah, each team has control of one of those shrines, and as I say, or temples. And as I said, we have the aggression in the middle, leading to a second temple claimed by Team Liam. So Nintorii and his boys are trying to at least fight back a little bit, but they're already taking severe damage up at the top, where their fort is down to 50% of its HP. Not looking too hot here, to tell you the truth. And it seems like they're gonna lose this one. Yeah, the shots are fired, and easily they take out the topside fort very early. I don't think we're gonna see the same thing happening here in the middle. There's only a few shots left, and they just don't have the push power to take the fort out. So structural advantage at the beginning of the game, clearly going to Team Liam as they take that win here. So Team Liam is able to pull that off, and can they follow up on it? Falstad, as the global, still sitting topside, and they could do some work here as well. But yeah, the attack is still coming. We're now starting to move straight towards the middle, where the blue team is attempting to push again, full 4-manning the entire thing. As Falstad is the one that keeps the top lane in check and tries to get them the experience there. 2 kills against 1 up to now, and well, by now we're getting a little bit of damage also done by Blaze in the middle of the map. They just essentially split a hero on each lane, with the exception of the 3-man trying to escort Sylvanas in and doing some work with her. But Falstad is now encountering him himself. And Urel pick for him is obviously quite powerful. But there's a few more camps to be taken. Things have started to slow down a little bit between them. But the initial advantage for them must have been a nice little buffer. At least right at the start of the game. Now, either way, as it stands, the temple at the bottom... In the days of old, the temple at the bottom was actually always the battle around level 10 and would make the biggest difference. And it had a lot to do with controlling the fountains. So when you could still take fountains out without even going for the fort itself, teams were targeting the bot side fountain for that very specific reason, because they wanted to make sure that they have the upper hand in that battle. But now this dynamic has heavily shifted after Blizzard locked the hit points of the fountain into and like tied it to the fort itself or the keep. So now these bottom battles on Sky Temple have changed a little bit in the dynamic and are more even. You can't just simply start to roll over your opponent with that bot lane play and try and take full advantage of all of this. Now, 1 kill against 2 for the time being, both on level 10. Temple is coming up in a second. So far, the blue team isn't even making a play for it. And the idea behind what they're doing is actually quite simple. They're just simply sitting here saying, like, you know what? If we can use Sylvanas to properly push, we can out-push you. Now, the red team is not even trying to defend. What they're doing instead is attempting to move in, also with aggression. But Blaze is now solo defending, and that allows the rest of the team at the top to go quickly for the destruction of the fort. Vision granted, because they wanted to double check, hey, are they actually retreating after they take it out, or are they hoping to do more? And, well, you have the answer already. They are definitely trying to do more. They're coming in for the wall with the help of the camp and Falstad, who has to Gust, plays it mega safe, and the rest of the team has rotated into the middle, where they're basically doing the same thing. And hoping also to go for a kill. Blaze has gotten himself some control over the temple at the bottom of the map, as the red team retreated to defend, so he got a few shots too. But they made a very cool macro move here. Pushing the top side and convincing the opponent as well that they would push further, forced the red team to retreat, forced them to give up the bottom temple, allowed shots to be taken by the team, and now, technically, we have seen Team Nintorii take the lead in structures. They've actually claimed a lead. So, yeah, job well done. They haven't destroyed a second fort yet, even hiding there a little bit, attempting to get extra damage in against Urel. But if they are continuing to make that play as the game continues, they can definitely try and out-rotate an opponent with Sylvanas and Falstad. I highlighted it a little bit during the draft already, but they are using now exactly that strategy to get ahead and make the opponent chase. And it works quite nicely. This is the problem when you don't really have any counter pressure against Falstad too. I mean, he's obviously attempting to control the top lane. This is one of their worries, with catapults pushing, with camps like the last one also to move in, so that's a little bit of a concern. So they're starting to push this out, as in the middle the next fight is about to break out. Mainly because Team Liam has now decided that they want to steal the Siege Giants away, which they're currently successfully doing in this case. So they claim the camp, both now on level 13. And here comes the double temple. And this is one of the moments when Falstad comes in quite handy. Oh, Porky! Yep, he's about to go. No, what? What an ancestral! No way! He actually survived that. Bunker is out, but damn! Survived the ancestral. Blaze finally dies, as Falstad still pushes at the top. Has, by the way, not gone for that temple either. I mean, it's activating just now, but he's not immediately on the point in order to take advantage of that. But holy hell, that bot lane fight. They get the fort without the objective, but check out the ancestral. The timing was absolutely perfect. Garrosh, he looked like he was dead already. And then that clutch ult comes in from Rhaegar and allows them to keep him alive. So, what a move. Falstad now, with the shots fired, has to be a bit cautious as Liam starts to move in. So they want to have both of the temples and are likely going to be able to pull that off too. So, yeah, temples are being taken. With that now, we have the mid lane fort. All the forts are destroyed. Mid lane fort is gone. And yes, the red team has also lost a lot of their structures, but this still has to be a little bit concerned for them. Wow, Yrel is going to fall eventually. Yrel is going to fall here, but while they are trying to chase Yrel down and finally kill her, we now have the boss claimed at the bottom of the map. I like the decision making. Really good decision making from Team Liam. They see opportunity. I mean, both teams are actually making some very, very nice moves. I talked a bit about Falstad and Sylvanas and the way that they attacked the top earlier. But now, as they see that Yrel is about to die, they realize, okay, it's going to take them a while to actually take Yrel down. In the meantime, we are in position around the boss. We can take that quickly, so they do. And now they're hoping to follow up on this at the top a bit further. There's a fight that is nearly getting forced. Can they actually... Yeah, they can actually get that kill. They go in, and they drop Maiev. Ancestral is saving Sylvanas, so Nano is also alive. All of this happening as Yrel is just coming back, but it's a 5 versus 3 now, and they're losing more. That's Chromie gone. Good move by the blue team. They don't defend against the boss at the bottom of the map, and they're actually, of course, they're losing the wall, and they're also losing hit points on the keep, but they're taking a lot of heroes down. So this is a trade that could have backfired for them. They took a bit of a risk with that decision, but they made it work. They're losing a lot here, but they definitely made that work for themselves. They gave up half the hit points of their own keep and are now pushing at the top side. Have also taken a lot of heroes out, which gave them a huge chunk of experience too. And put them in the driver's seat. With the help of Sylvanas, they were hoping to take that fort down a notch. But that was shut down because Diablo and the rest of the red team that was still in play delayed them long enough for some of the heroes to respawn. So, worth it or not? I mean, I guess you can argue a little bit with the damage that was done at the bottom keep. But Falstad has now also pushed successfully through the bot lane. Ipdings with a lot of experience for the team. Nobody controls a fort any longer. It's all down to the keeps now. And with vision granted, Falstad still goes for the ballsy camp and is barreling away immediately. Not risking anything else but that. Now, good for him. He also had Gust available. So I assume the worst case scenario for him was to simply gust out, sacrifice the cooldown and say like, alright boys, I'm out of here. But he gets the camp. Doesn't have to sacrifice any of the bigger cooldowns in this situation either. And up at the top, we're now having Sven trying for a few more shots. He's actually able to get. That damages the top side keep, so yeah, they are mega even. Mega even between the two of them. That's actually crazy. So different styles of play in so many situations, and just cool decisions being made all over the place as this game goes on. And yeah, nice value for especially us as the audience in this. So, with now 5 kills to 3 and a slight advantage in experience, topside gets again pressured by a camp that was claimed. Falstad always controlling the lanes and pushing them out wherever he's needed, this time in the middle. Can easily fly towards the top, and does. They're trying to turn it into a quick 5 versus 4, but Yrel is also moving in, and Kelsia is blocking the path. Nobody really forced into a fight. Maybe Diablo now. That pushes out Garrosh too. So some free damage comes in. But with this being a 5 versus 5 now, I don't think anybody is taking a big risk here. Half a level advantage for the blue team. Early level 20 for them would of course be quite nice if they can get to that point. Currently I'm not so sure if that's in the cards for any of them. But Porky with half HP. Next temple is solo. No, actually we get a double temple next. Yep. Dual objective once again. And everybody's still poking and hoping for an opportunity to get a hit in. I mean, boss is also up in another minute, so there's plenty of opportunities and objectives on the map that can be handled by the two teams. And now we have 5 kills to 3, 19 to 18. Yeah, Garrosh getting attacked here. Ipdings, careful. Gust is out. They're trying to turn it again on Yrel, who has to pop the ult. They're zoning them very nicely. I mean, look at Brightwing too. Brightwing is mega low, and all of them have to retreat now. Garrosh wants to create another kill opportunity as he throws Blaze forward. Jet Propulsion connects. They go for Diablo. There's the bunker, as Blaze was in some trouble too. And there's the taunt and the kill. The Fruit Fly's eliminated. Brightwing's gone. Diablo with the wall stun. They're aiming for Blaze, and they kill him, and they kill Rhaegar, but they're losing my F. What a slaughter! The fight is all over the place. Everybody's losing heroes. It's the 3 versus 3 now, and it's not over yet. Chromie is also getting eliminated. Another kill happening as they're attempting to turn it on Urel, and that is a 5-man team wipe. The entire team eliminated. Huge plays here, and boy, Diablo's of course back, but there's level 20 talents now also ready. They can try for a few more shots through those temples that are up, and that's the opportunity to maybe even break through one of the keeps. But holy hell, those team fights, seriously. Falstad with epic mount on 20 flies straight into the middle and is doing his thing here as he's attempting to at least soak some free shots for the team. Some extra value, and so far nobody's coming his way. Those death timers were pretty serious, so they're getting a lot of damage out. I mean, unlucky for them that there's no temple at the top. Temple at the top would have been ideal for them. That would mean one of the keeps falls. This way they can do damage, but I'm not so sure if they can get enough out of this to take some keeps down. Doesn't really seem like it. So all of the keeps on the red team side have done have suffered significant damage, but it's just not enough. 45,000 damage for Sylvanas, 34,000 for Falstad. Diablo's actually top damage on the red team. Top damage for Diablo with 30,000. Ahead of Chromie even. So, yeah, a little bit bonkers. But again, both of them on level 20. And also, by the way, my mistake, didn't go for Epic Mount earlier. Falstad, it looked like this for a second, but he actually went Wind Tunnel. Oftentimes, this comes down to a boss play here. With Wind Tunnel, there's a lot that they can actually do. So we now have, at the bottom of the map, already our 4-man pushing again. We got Nintorii, Ipting, Nano, and Porky just 4-manning it up with Blaze sitting topside. Diablo is still working on his minion stacks too, so he is not safe on that baseline either. Good vision, of course, being provided here time and time again by Chromie. And Brightwing with the Invisible Friends is also attempting to get at least a couple of friendly faces in. They have to play around the boss. I mean, this has to be the play. And this is where Falstad really shines. I mean, now Falstad is just worth so much to them. Sylvanas is already pushing out of the top side, just trying to get another minion wave here. Burns is down easily. Get some... I mean, it's going to be a 5 versus 5 again. They're overstaying quite a lot here. So here comes the attack. Diablo's moving in. Jet Propulsion. And Sylvanas gets away. Wind Tunnel is used too. Sylvanas bolts out. They get away. Falstad could maybe even now fly, but again, we're 2 bot lane, mid lane, not too much of an opportunity to push us out. He doesn't have Gust away either, but here at the top, now this is getting slowed down a little bit. It did some damage, but now, of course, it's all about that temple and potentially the boss, depending on how things go for them. Game number 1, early Ancestral from Rhaegar. That's a big cooldown that he just burned. In hindsight, not needed. They try to play it safe there. Absolutely understandable, but in hindsight, that was not an ult that needed to be used there. So Chromie is starting to dish out damage towards the middle. There's still a wall, so it's not going to take down the keep. What's happening around the boss, though? Without Gust, they're not engaging into it. They don't have Bunker, they don't have Ancestral. They just try and send Falstad across the map a bit at the bot lane, not even contesting Chromie in the slightest. Could try and limit some vision by taking those sidewalls out. Disc from IF, already used. And go for Garrosh a little bit, and yeah, so far so good. Everybody disengaging again. Everybody, trying to go for Diablo. Clutch. Definitely a bit of a clutch play that they just made there. If Diablo does not get away, if Sylvanas hits a Wailing Arrow and prevents him from getting out, if they are somehow able to take him before he completes his baseline quest, that would be quite the problem. So as it stands now, a few more shots are about to be taken, this time maybe by the blue team. That would help them to take the keep in the middle out, but the red team is throwing everything they have against them. and is getting serious damage in and nearly destroys the top side keep. I mean, they're super close on this. But the same, as I said before, can also be said of their opponents. Team Nintorii has done so much damage to the structures of the red team here. The disc out once again. So yeah, disc once more. And at the bottom of the map, that's a pretty big wave for that catapult. They need to send somebody in. Liam is on his way to deal with it. So yeah, he's trying to make that work. But while he's defending, the rest of the team is now again circling around the middle, around the boss. And for very good reason. This boss, if taken, would decide the game. Both bot lane keeps on both sides are very, very low. Blaze might just have gotten caught a little bit too early. They're rotating over to try and help him out. So far, so good. Maybe a chance to defend him. And yep, they're still fine. Blaze still fine for now, but now they're focusing their aggression onto Garrosh. And I'm not sure if he's fine. Garrosh low, the Ancestral used once more, and here's the big 5v5 that could decide the game. Right now they're focusing on Rhaegar. The tether is in. Nintorii taunted though. They gotta be cautious now. 10 kills, 2-5. And the action still ongoing as everybody is looking for anyone that is a bit too far out. They're focusing on Sylvanas, trying to get a kill here. Diablo gets turned on very quickly, gets another wall stun off, and Tremor moves out as Maiev makes a move and tethers then back in. And the Bridge of Death is getting deadly, much too deadly for Diablo and Maiev. The blue team is mega low, but they get the kills. And here comes Falstad, flying in, trying to stop Chromie and the rest of the team. Iptings has to be careful that he doesn't get killed here. He nearly does. But they want more kills. They want to chase them, and chase them they do. Nice timer to stop the jet propulsion. Blaze is so low. They might still get out though. Diablo is back. Keep in the middle, is about to get attacked by minions, but they're stopping Diablo. Brightwing flies in. The taunt from Garrosh. The gust into their corner. Brightwing is gone. Diablo is gone. And this might... Well, Diablo? Diablo should be gone in a moment. But they go for Chromie first. And here's the kill. What a finish. Absolute insanity on the map now. Absolute insane. Totally crazy. It seems like Team Nintorii takes this game though. We're 21 minutes in and Team Nintorii is about to take the lead in the best of 3 series against Team Liam. But oh my god, what an opening game into the best of 3 here. Unbelievable. Great performance. The blue team with the victory as we are about to head into game number 2. GG and well done.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Map number 2, Tomb of the Spider Queen. So, the lead goes to Team Nintorii. Blue team has taken an advantage here, and as I already said previously, for them that's actually really nice because they want to head into the number 1 spot in the tournament bracket here, and if they're able to take this with a 2-0, it's highly likely that they're going to end up there. There could still be a little bit of a tie where it then comes down to the direct comparison, but hey, a 2-0 is all that you can do at this point. Either way, no matter if it's number 1, number 2, it would help them a lot to make it much easier for them in the playoff bracket. Whereas for Team Liam, that setback on Sky Temple, it kind of hurts a little bit. And I still have to give them a lot of credit. I mean, that first game was actually a bit bonkers when you think about it. I mean, that was intense. Lots of back and forth the entire time. Massive aggression there. And what I personally really liked is it really came down. It didn't come down to the boss. You know, it came down to a proper team fight. They forced the team fight close to the boss, yes, but it didn't come down to that Hail Mary move where one team throws everything that they have onto the point, the other one tries to execute a gust or steal or whatever, and then it's just a chase. So in this case, it really came down to the last big 5 versus 5 on essentially even footing, and that was nicely done. Both teams had really cool macro moves, had some very thought out strategies, and then the in-fight control of the teams was pretty awesome. So obviously mistakes made and exploited as well, But that was a very, very cool opening game for a series. So let's see how many maps we're getting. Team Liam has the chance now to force game number 3 if they are victorious on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Yeah, Maiev gets locked in once again. She was actually the only one that did not get a single kill for the red team on the last map. Maiev was the only one. Everybody, well, she got a lot of assists obviously, but Maiev didn't get any kills. Too many kill stealers around there. But now that we're heading into Tomb, when it comes to bans, we have 3 supports that are actually banned out, and with Uther being one of them, it again highlights that they're trying to avoid Uther being played as a main tank and then some kind of double support shenanigans. Instead, Johanna and Malfurion are claimed. It's not all that often that you're picking like second and you get Johanna as your pick. Normally she's banned or taken very quickly. Here, not that much, not so much. So yeah, I like it. Well, I like it for the blue team. Good for them. They get Malfurion together with that. So a little bit of Moonfire poke, Diablo, Blaze. Oh, very powerful melee lineup for Team Liam. Yeah, that could be painful. Diablo, stun, Blaze, follow up. If you find there's a Diablo good wall that you can kick somebody in and Blaze and Maiev follow up on that, then whew, you can do a lot there. So, damage. I mean, Chromie is still up. There's no draft rules in the tournament, as I already explained previously, so you can still play Chromie here. Provides with a bit of vision. Hanzo, kind of the same. That's also another stun if you can hit your arrows. So if you have Team Liam already on the other side, then you gotta be careful if they're chaining that arrow too. Kind of reminds me of the series previously with Madara, who definitely had an off day on Hanzo. His Hanzo is usually very, very strong. I highlighted it quite a bit in the past. But today, he just wouldn't hit arrows. So yeah, the hit rate was not really that great today. One of those off days a bit. But then again, overall, they did pretty okay. So Leora gets banned. That leaves us currently with, I mean, still tons of fantastic side laners for them. But Leo ghosting around on the bot lane is always kind of neat. What interests me a little bit more than side laners, what Nano is going to play. If we actually get Chromie, yeah, I would have not been surprised to see Chromie banned, to be honest with you. So here comes Vada, okay. And are they already picking their second damage? Nah, they go for the side laner. And they actually pick Malthael. So Nano can still choose. It's kind of interesting because on the one hand, they don't show their cards and they can adjust a bit to what Liam is now doing. But I personally really thought that they would lock in an early Chromie for Nano. They are not doing that, and now they give a chance to Team Liam to pick Chromie away. And they've already shown on the last map that they have absolutely no problem locking her in. So we could get another Chromie game from them. Kelsia and Hebi are the final 2 choices. We need a heal, and there she is. Chromie gets stolen. So what is Nano now going to play? Still a mage. Mephisto is up. Could also go, of course, I mean, oldie but goldie. Could go Gul'dan here. But yeah, a little bit of wave clear with... Medivh! We already had a Medivh game today. Yeah, with Ultralisk on Medivh. Look at those Europeans. Now we have another Medivh game. Ladies and gentlemen, Tomb of the Spider Queen. Let's go. We got Team Liam against Team Nintorii, and it is match point for the blue team. Game number 2. Team Nintorii is in the lead against Team Liam and have now the opportunity to decide the best of 3 series in their favor. Quick reminder that we are going into best of 5s once that we're hitting the playoffs. And also, while you're watching this, a quick reminder to subscribe and to hit that like button, specifically to all the people watching this on YouTube right now. Helps to spread the games to more people, get those videos into the recommendation list, and get maybe a few more players reactivated into Heroes of the Storm. For the blue team, we got Iptings on Vala, we have Porky on Jojo, Nano is playing Medivh, we got Nintorii on Malfurion, and Sven on Malthael. As on the right, Kelsia is playing Chromie, Liam on Blaze, we got Trem on Diablo, Hebi on Brightwing, and Zimbo for the second time in a row now is playing Maiev. And there comes our multi-shot build again. Again, not something that we see a lot, but it is a bit more common in this tournament than in the past. We had a couple of multi-shot Valas also in the recent Korean tournament that I commentated. So if you're looking for the wave clear and you're really trying to get this into also late game, you can stack up on this very nicely. Obviously, you don't want to play Vala with that particular build in a solo damage position as a hyper carry. That's still reserved for the auto attack build. But this is still, or can be, quite powerful. Now, to be fair, Vala is the only real range damage dealer, as Jojo actually goes down. That should not have happened. But if Medivh stacks, he's going to get some decent damage in as well, and let's not forget about Malthael. So Vala, while technically the only ranged carry in that sense, is not the only damage dealer by far. There are other heroes out here that can push in significant numbers. Vala will have decent wave clear to burn these minion waves down, and she can also in big team fights and get a lot of AoE damage against the rest of the opponent's team. Now we had of course a couple of changes in the recent patch too. Honestly, not impactful enough to play a massive role, maybe giving teams a bit of an incentive to switch builds up occasionally, but it was not really a fully game-changing switch that all of a sudden, you know, puts other builds totally into the foreground. But it's pretty cool to see this regardless. I'm still having my eye, besides the stacks of Vala, also of course on Medivh. As usual in the early game, we want to know how quickly is he able to get his stacks completed. The sad truth is, if Medivh actually dies at some point, he will likely be in a spot where he is either completing his quest extremely late or not at all. This is something that we all too often get, so we'll see how this is now working out for them in this game. But there's definitely a couple of interesting things that could happen as the game continues and Medivh is aiming to complete his baseline. If he dies, then the dynamic changes so much, but if he completes it quickly, then the damage output that he contributes is gonna play a big role in this too. So yeah, time will tell. We'll see what they can do with this now, what the plays are going to be here, but down at the bottom of the map, still a bit of a movement. Okay, so far so good. Top side, that's where we are also looking at turn-in attempts. 10 have already been delivered. So, yeah, 10 gems turned in. Not a whole lot, but every single gem that you are able to turn in at the end of the day is already bringing you one step closer to your goal. So, at least for now, things are working out fine for them. I mean, Porky is now again up at the front, already dying once. Vala, by the way, with 13 stacks already. Medivh with 17. Both of them doing pretty okay for the early game here. So, not having too many problems. But Porky is having some real problems. I mean, that's the second time that he gets killed now. And we are still only 3.5 minutes in. Vala barely survives here, as we now have Sven moving in from the side on Malthael, attempting to turn the tides of that battle. But Jojo, I mean, careful. That's some very early game deaths from her, and she's also one of the heroes that they are relying upon in when they are attempting to shut down any kind of turn-in. You have that quick shield glare that is always useful in that situation, but the turn-in has already happened. So now they were able to turn in, and that is hurting them a little bit. Turn-in has already come through. Porky gets targeted again. Dying now would be a really bad idea. The Red Web Weaver's about to approach. If you die there, then boy, oh boy. You are in for a scolding from your teammates. Medivh, 25 stacks. Vala on 18. Good for her too. If she's able to complete this, she has 19 now. If she gets another shot once the cooldown is ready up against Maiev, it's going to help with defense as well from here on out. So, there's also Temporal Loop now from Chromie. This is where Medivh needs to be really careful. Nano, of course, great Medivh player too. We saw it from Ultralisk already earlier. Now the portals are starting to come up. Quest completed for Vala. She's gonna stack past it, of course. And 30 stacks for Nano. 5 minutes in. Ideally, you complete it before level 10. At level 10, when heroics are kicking in, everything becomes way more dangerous on the map. Much easier for the opponent to launch a coordinated attack and take you out. So if they're able to get that quest done before that's the case, then hey, fantastic. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. So Vala with some pretty decent stacking. So is Medivh, sitting on 31. Working a little bit more and playing it really safe now. This is the moment when you're trying to be greedy with your shield and you're hoping that you can just keep it. Dodges the stun, nice, jukes out the stun and is able to get out with a portal. 32 stacks, Vala hits a few more in the same fight and Nano is getting close. He is so close now. So yes, Nano is just 8 stacks away from making it happen. They're all attempting to interrupt. It's 18 gems against 13. And both teams have soon the chance to go for a full turn. And right now it's only the blue team that has enough gems to make that possible. But we will see. And Nano again with another connect. Hits 2. 34. 6 are missing. Those are always the worst moments, honestly. When you're in a position where you're, okay, I have it any moment now, but then you get a little bit greedy sometimes. You drop down and all of a sudden it's just like, yep, gets caught, and then that's the end of it. But at least here, they're fine. At least for now. Things are currently still looking okay. So, there's the catch. 36 stacks now. Disc is missing. This is the moment when you have also level 10 against you, so you're also up against heroic ability. That definitely doesn't make things any easier for you. And yeah, with 36, is he going to commit to that? No, so far not quite. And Vala is sitting at 26. Get that damage out. Get that damage out and work it in slowly. So yeah, another hit coming from her. There's Medivh sitting at 37. Blue team is also extremely close to get their turn in. Only 2 gems are missing. 38! Come on, Otto. Yeah, he's gonna make it. I would be shocked if he doesn't. There it is! Nice! And they get a kill with it too. Strafe executed. Last rights. A first stack for Malthael. They get level 10. They immediately move in and then they take the kill. Perfectly played here, and it's nearly a triple. They're not quite able to take 3 down, but that was a huge one regardless. So yeah, job well done. Not only does he get the control over the talent right here, but then at the same time we're having the next little play made. So yeah, that was actually awesome. Get the kills, play that out, get the turn in, and even do some damage before all of it happens in the middle of the map against the wall. So now Vala is continuing with the stacks here. And again, this is not really a bad build. It's actually, they want wave clear here. It's a decent build, they get good teamfight value out there, and they want to control this also with a lot of wave clear and AoE damage that they're doing. If you just look at the damage output, Vala's at 26,000. That is far above anybody else in the game at this point. And obviously she's also contributing significant siege damage. And they are banking on her stacking more throughout all of this. Ipthings can play a very aggressive style because he knows he has Malfurion and Medivh behind him. So that allows him very easily to get more stacks together and just work those multi-shots in whenever he sees an opportunity. And there it is. 30,000 damage nearly. He's sitting at 36 and he is getting good damage out with it. So yeah. That's an easy 72 additional damage right now. Keeps his hatred up as well. We have now 2 kills to 2, but there's some real scaling happening. Nearly 80 additional damage. Nice if you're just trying to blow some of these minion waves to pieces, but also good for all of the team fights to come. Has to be a bit careful, but as I said before, with the shield from Medivh always being an option, that's going to help a lot. And as soon as they're stacking, yeah, there's another hit. Yeah, that's nice, Polly. Strafe gets shut down immediately. That's a really good reaction from Brightwing. So, currently we have level 13 talents kicking in. Interrupt happening again. Disc out. 21 gems on Jojo, but fine. And Ipthings again. Utilizing the positioning, utilizing the choke points to his advantage. Trying to always go for some clumped up opponents. And could get another one here. Might even be able to get a little bit farther forward, doesn't even have to, is sitting at 44. Web Weavers are coming down, but this is also where the extra value from Vala is going to kick in quickly. So the chase is on. They're hoping to turn this into 5 versus 4 before the Web Weavers even touch ground. But so far, not a thing. Every single shot right now, we get 90 extra damage thanks to level 1 talent. So yeah, Vala still close. Oh, there's the attack at the top again. Leyline is out, okay. Getting damage in against Maiev. Damn, getting a lot of damage in against Maiev. Has been tethered. Should get a shield now. Gets the portal. And able to get away. Even Malfurion moving in. Strafe used to keep them at bay and move them back out. Another few shots already accumulated here, but that Web Weaver is toast. We have Jojo sitting up at the top, defending, but now becoming the target. And with 28 gems, Porky has to be cautious. But they're defending well. They're defending quite nicely. Just looking at the damage numbers, 43,000 off of Vala. I mean, just look at her damage and look what Chromie or Maiev, for example, have. She's nearly doubling it. She's not quite there yet, but she's bringing big numbers in. Malfurion, sorry, not Malfurion, Medivh and Malthael pretty good as well. Going for the triple M here. Oh, blessed shield missing from Porky. That hurts. And him getting targeted like this is dicey. Again, all the gems that he's holding, if he loses them, that would be a disaster. So, yeah, that's definitely problematic. Alright, so 14 on both sides, 14 and a half. Now over on the right side, next camp is about to be taken. Vala again, still stacking, 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 stacking. And doing pretty well with that. Level 16. Level 16 is gonna be interesting. I always like, okay, in my head, like I'm always like, hey, go full, go all out there. But Manticore, of course, against someone like Diablo is always a really nice choice. So yeah, they needed wave clear earlier, but if they are now committing to a full multi-shot build, I kind of doubt that we're gonna see anything like that. And I gotta give it to Ipding, he's been doing a lot of work just dancing around opponents the entire time and weave auto attacks in. It's not like he's only relying on his abilities or anything here. But definitely dishing out tons of damage with that too. There's the Blessed Shield connect. This time, with a timeout, maybe a chance. Malfurion gets targeted heavily. There's Strafe! And Kelsia makes it out. Vala went deep for a potential kill and just barely couldn't lock it in. So, nice escape by Chromie, but that could have become a huge problem. If they lose Chromie here, then they lose more ground, the turn-in will happen, and then the follow-up could be there right away. But 16 is now close for both of them. 56 stacks for Ipdings, 112 extra damage with every single attack. Blue team turns in. As long as they don't lose anybody here right now, they will be fine. And so far, looks good. And Vala is just... she just keeps carpeting everything with multi-shots. And Malfurion is obviously giving her a lot of mana throughout all of this too, so this is really working nicely. Not only do you get a lot of protection from the two supports, but on top of that, you also get the mana to just YOLO out one multi-shot after another, and even arrows, and not run out of mana anytime soon. We got Manticore now in, as a level 16 talent, as already expected. By the way, Malthael only with a single stack, we saw it over when they hit level 10. Kick in right away, but since then they didn't get a kill with him. Not a whole lot of kills in this game in the first place, but maybe now a chance. And Maiev is about to go down and get saved by a sick ley line. How did she get saved by a ley line? No, it was the... sorry, it was Chromie. That makes more sense. But then a second later she gets killed. The ley line came out and then Maiev gets... and then Vala gets trapped and I was like, the ley line! I was like, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense. That can't be right. Second stack for Malthael, Fort is destroyed too. Vala takes the kills against Maiev and against Diablo. And yep, that's very, very nice for them. Oh, and apparently they're prepping for the boss already. So yep, here comes the play up at the top. The disc came out against Vala. Yeah. So, really, like in my head connected it with the ley line. I was like, that's not right. They're on the same team. That would be quite the betrayal. Think about that. Just coming in and immediately, shutting down any opportunities for a kill if you could, like, ley line your own team. But now it's 4 kills to 2. We have Ipdings just making sure that they're getting the boss here as well. But now he's at 120 damage on Vala, so that's quite nice. Look at the damage output that she has just overall. I mean, really, it's not only the siege damage, but the hero damage too. With her stacking like this, she is getting so much damage out in cluster up team fights. Any kind of choke point battle is, of course, real nice for her right now. They're getting damage in against Diablo with ease, and they're burning him to pieces with the quick last rites. That's the third one that kicked in for Malthael, which means that he's now sitting at 3 stacks on his ult. 15-second cooldown reduction thanks to that, and the boss is still marching through the top. Now the red team turned in, so they have to defend against this, but it's not a problem for them whatsoever. So Team Nintorii, big plays from them. Absolutely big plays. They are doing such a great job here. And it's working extremely well. They have a 1-0 lead. It's match point for them. They defended against the red team's web weavers. They're their own boss. They've taken 2 of the forts out as is. And now hoping for even more aggression up at the top as they're looking for 1 kill opportunity after the next. They themselves lost a few forts too. I don't want to suggest that the red team is, by the way, out of this game. It looks like it sometimes, because the blue team is definitely the one that sets the agenda for the flow of the game. But nobody has right now taken that big of a lead yet in all of this. I mean, currently there's a turn-in opportunity for the blue team, and I think now they're going to claim it. In an ideal world, they would of course hope to get, for example, level 20 talents with that push. If they can get the camp that Marcel is sitting at, and then also the minion waves down at the bottom, that might actually even be in the cards. I mean, they got a lot of wave clear. If they're just using that right now, before the attack comes, then they will have level 20. And now as the web weavers start to travel through the map, it seems that storm talents are definitely going to be a thing in that next fight. So this is perfectly timed. You get a turn in, you get your web weavers, the objective, and then on top of that, you also have your storm talents. So Vala is going for Farflight Quiver, getting more of that, and now they are going to try and take the first keep of the game. So in the middle, they're pushing a little bit. They have the attack coming through the top with the help of Janna. And down at the bottom of the map, Malthael already escorted through actually proxies the minion wave, as you can now see here. So he's making sure that nothing is going to interfere with the fort getting attacked directly. The bottom fort is therefore going to fall. And here in the middle, the attack just continues. Vala is just stacking, stacking, stacking. She's at 140 extra damage now. 71 stacks for her. And with every single play that they're making, she hurts them more and more. And if she can hit multiple heroes at the same time, fantastic. So now the next hit comes in. They go for Maiev, and goodbye. Manticore and Farflight Quiver obviously do a ton too. And this is just a cleanup job from here on out. Fantastic games by Team Nintorii. They look great here. We have them in a 5 versus 3. The keep is gone. And the only question here is how much further do they go? Are they hoping for a kill and to end the game? Are they going for additional keeps? I mean, the world's their oyster at this point, and they are crushing it. Vala, then again, gets caught and killed, and that probably puts an end to their ambition to end the game here. But 2 keeps have now been destroyed. They're still sieging up a little bit, but without Vala, I highly doubt that they can follow through with it. Vala, after all, is still the top damage dealer for the team, sitting at 84,000 against the 52,000. This was, by the way, the first death as well. But bad news for the red team. They got enough gems for another turn, and of course they're gonna use it. They're gonna try to, I guess, delay it a little bit to ensure that Vala is going to be with the team for that play. Now, 50 are turned in. Now Porky is the last one that has to deliver. Vala on 17 seconds. But the red team is trying to prevent this from happening. It's a 5 versus 4. So they're disengaging. Still forts in the middle. With fountains. Ah, that feels so bad for them. But at least 20 versus 20, you know, there's something to it. So both teams have level 20 talent now. But they go up against Blaze up at the top. Vala is, of course, now back. There's another stun at the side. Careful. Porky, 33 gems, my friend. Actually, a bit surprised that he was not the first one to turn in. I thought they would leave some of the gems on the backliners instead. Noteworthy also the 20-second cooldown reduction by now from Malthael. Really helping him to drop some of these ults without too much hesitation. Defense by the red team. I mean, they got it. They can't allow another turn-in to happen. But that also means that they're oftentimes stacking up in these situations, and that makes it a perfect target environment for Vala, who is, again, trying to use that to her advantage. Starts to move away as Diablo is pushing forward. But yeah, hit after hit. Blessed Shield not out yet. Could use it here. Diablo engages once more. And here comes the next attack. Still ult ready for Jojo if she wants to YOLO it out. But the death of Malthael is the first thing that happens. Finally the Blessed Shield from Janna. Arguably a bit too late. That could have been used earlier to try and create an opportunity for them. As it stands, Malfurion falls, and damn, even with Vala just carving the floor with additional damage, it's a 5 versus 4 now. Malthael bought back, but Malfurion won't be back anytime soon. Porky attempted to turn in, but couldn't. And now it's Blaze that delivered the gems that he was holding. 28 gems delivered, 30 in their hands. They're getting closer to a turn-in, but the blue team still has the cards to make that happen right now, and they do. This time they don't wait for Malfurion to come back. Earlier they were eager to ensure that they have Vala back up on the map, but in this case they just want to get it out as quickly as possible. 83 stacks now for Vala. And there's the chance to push these lanes back out, the opportunity to maybe destroy the final keep of the game. They need to wait 20 more seconds for Malfurion. And the red team is aware of it. The red team is actually a bit more aggressive here. Thankfully, they got Medivh. I mean, he's already been doing great moves with all these portals and shields. But now he provides the vision that they need to make sure that there's no trap and there's nothing else happening. And Malfurion is back now. Still has some travel time from the Nexus, but he's slowly starting to come in. And the final keep is also down at the bottom of the map. That's another one that they're going to get out for. So, yeah. Shot after shot now coming together. Over here towards the bot lane. Morphurion is nearly there. Yeah, and Vala is still stacking. Honestly, I love scaling heroes. Scale heroes are super fun. She has a 40,000 damage advantage now over everyone else. A little catch on Brightwing. Good reposition. Yeah, Malthael gets hit by the disc. But Vala is already on the 6 digits. It's actually crazy. She's 40,000 damage ahead of Chromie. 50,000 damage ahead of Diablo. And if you look at our own team, 60,000 damage gap to the next highest damage dealer. That is pretty impressive. Yeah, Sven is already working on the next camp. I mean, things have slowed down, obviously, after level 20 has connected, because there were no big advantages anymore. Now we have the catapults pushing that are playing the biggest role. Boss is also, again, up and was now checked. That's something that Nano and his team don't really have to do too much, because they have Medivh, and that little bastard is cheating all day, every day. Yeah, Blizzard even put it in writing. Medivh cheats. We know, he didn't have to tell us. Johanna dies. And well, she might not be the only one. Nano is dead. Yeah, that is 20 gems down the drain, and that's a double kill, so we're looking at a boss for sure. Guys, we might go to game 3 after all. I mean, not that this boss is going to end the game, but it's definitely starting to bring the red team back into it. So, boss is going to be taken. They can turn in the couple of gems that they're still holding, but they need 70. Now, Vala goes down, burns this one away, and might even move in a little bit deeper. No? Catapults, by the way, on the core. Damage? Nah. Not breaking through the shield yet. Maybe getting close, but not quite working yet. Siege Giants down here, that could become problematic, but the red team is now also getting a Webby Whip. This is actually getting a lot more dangerous than I thought. That fort is gone within seconds, and, well, I did not think that I didn't even catch that they had enough gems to line that up the way that they did. So, Malthael being out there the way that he is, it's a little bit ballsy if you ask me. I assume that he can still buy back, because he's dead. And yes, he buys back. So, Malthael buys back quickly. Still trying to stop them. Good damage against the boss. It's a 5-man right now. And Medivh has to really deliver for the team. Web Weavers. Oh, I have to march all the way. There were still some minions stuck back there. It would have been a completely different story if that Web Weaver would have traveled directly to the keep. But this way, they can actually defend this. So this didn't do nearly as much damage as I thought it would. Basically because the Web Weaver was stuck at the top right, instead of traveling all the way towards the keep directly. So here's the team fight. And Malthael, a bit low. I mean, honestly, if he's about to go down, he should at least YOLO out his ult. Hasn't happened. Oh my god, Porky! Yeah, there comes the hit against Diablo. He's low. Vala is nearly at 100 stacks. The bunker is out. He dodged the last rides, but Diablo is still in real trouble. Diablo's in trouble, and he is not necessarily the only one. Tremor and also Zimbo. They're both low. Maiev and Diablo both die. 5 versus 4. They trap Liam in a corner. Can take him down as well, and that should be it. The core, by the way, has taken significant damage because of minions. So 42% only remaining as the blue team moves through the top lane now to finish what they started. That's going to be the 2-0. 100 stacks for Vala on her level 1. She's sitting at 130,000 damage, and they're going to finish the game and the series right here, right now. Team Liam loses and will likely lose their 4th spot in the ranking, whereas Team Nintorii claims victory and establishes their position at the top of the leaderboard. GG.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.